Hey there, how's it going everybody? Welcome back, Plant Abundance here. I'm just going to make a quick video addressing some of the comments and statements that I've seen out there in regards to the sunchoke tubers creating a lot of flatulence or gas, bloating, that sort of thing. So first off, let me just share with you, my wife and I, we had some Jerusalem artichokes, sunchokes, whatever you want to call it, for dinner last night, and neither of us had any type of gas symptoms whatsoever. Why is that? Is there something special with us, or what's the reason for that? What it is that when we use the Jerusalem artichoke or sunchokes, we usually use it as just one component of our dish. So it's usually part of a main dish or it's on the side. We're not eating like a big plate of sunchokes, and so that's the first thing I want to share with you guys when I'm doing these videos on this plant, which I love a lot. Is that I don't think it's really meant to be like a main course type of a food, but something that's implemented into your dishes. I would compare it to something like beans. Like, you wouldn't eat a whole can of beans in one sitting, or at least most people wouldn't, because they know that it's going to create a whole lot of gas and bloating. And the reason for that is different than with the sunchokes. In the case of legumes, there's a sugar there known as oligosaccharide, which is hard for the body to fully digest, which can cause that bloating and gas. In the case of sunchokes, it's the inulin, which is also the beneficial part of the plant that creates a low starch content that the body can have a hard time digesting fully. So one of the things you can do if you're having an issue would be to allow your tubers to store a bit longer. Once you cut down the stalk, either leave it in the ground, or if you harvest it, you can put it in buckets of soil. And over time, that inulin is going to convert into fructose. And that's going to lessen any gassy type effects that you may get from the tuber. And if you're somebody who's considering using the tuber in replacement of the potato because of maybe a health condition, then you're going to have to figure out whether or not fructose is a good alternative to the inulin. Another possibility for reducing any type of flatulence would be to include certain type of digestive herbs into your dish while you're cooking it. There's one in particular mainly used in Indian cuisine known as asafoetida. Although by itself it's not that pleasant, once it's cooked it has more of an onion-like flavor. You could also use something like fennel seed. Most people associate that with the black licorice type of aroma, and again, that overall tone mellows out when you're using it in your dishes. Also, the herb savory, which has kind of a minty thyme flavor, is also commonly used as a digestive component to a dish. So consider using those options. I think your best bet would be, if you've never eaten sunchokes before, to start off small, see how and if it affects your body in any way, and build up over time. This is also going to allow your body to adjust a bit, very similar to eating beans. If you eat beans on a consistent basis, flatulence tends to be less of an issue. I've also come across different information that recommends that cooking the tuber, especially for longer periods of time, helps to negate the flatulence problem. Personally, my cooking time is usually around 10 to 20 minutes, so I'm not really sure if cooking it for a longer amount of time is going to help at all. Also, there's information that if you're going to eat it raw, then perhaps you should parboil it first. That means just put the tubers into a pot of boiling water for at least a minute prior to slicing and dicing, putting them on your salads or what have you. And that's said to help with the flatulence. Again, I'm not sure about that one either. Really, the main purpose of this video was to try to address, all the different talk that's out there in regards to this tuber. I have to say that some of the websites and blogs and things that I find on the topic, I wonder if they've ever even actually really eaten the tuber. You'll find just an equivalent amount of information saying that this plant is extremely invasive, and once you plant it, you'll never get rid of it, and it takes over a garden and such. And again, that has not been my experience whatsoever. I've been growing this tuber for years. I've completely negated certain patches just by harvesting. I've been able to keep all my different patches in check however I want it very easily. So take all the different information that's out there on this plant with a grain of salt, and just understand that there's a long history of usage surrounding this plant. If you're somebody who has a history of different bowel type sensitivities, you're going to want to take some caution with this plant as you would with most foods. So I guess that's it. Hopefully I gave you enough in this video to help ease your mind if you're thinking about giving this plant a try. I'd love to hear back from you. If you got anything you want to add on to the conversation, feel free to drop a line in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. And with that, hope you're all having a great day. Stay tuned. I'm going to be making another video shortly showing you how I go about peeling these knobby little tubers.